All right, we are now live for accidentally the second time today. Sorry about that, guys. I have deleted that horrible 10-second clip of me sitting here and then going, "Oh shit!" I accidentally started a broadcast earlier, so I apologize if I'm very embarrassed, but whatever. Anyway, welcome back to Hard Metal Cast. Yay! I'm Stevie, and as you know, Joe. We are happy to be here. I'm very hoarse. My allergies are like literally the worst. And anyway, we are excited to have you guys here. So tonight, episode 25, Fabulous 25, we are going to be talking bad Netflix movies, hired guns in music, and an awesome Netflix original series, which is also a spin-off of Z Nation from Sci-Fi, but has nothing to do with it. Black Summer, which is not bad, very awesome. So anyway, yeah, welcome back. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future shows and that you can watch past shows. Be sure to like the video as well. So how are you doing tonight, Joe?
I am, as usual, on fire. No, I'm good. I'm doing great. Happy belated Easter to everybody. Happy holiday if you had that, if you share that holiday. I hope everybody is safe, warm, wonderful, and fuzzy and having a good time like we are. I am doing absolutely just ducky over here. Welcome to episode 25 and a half. And we are we are very happy to have you here. And yeah, we do. We got a lot to cover tonight. We have some really cool stuff coming up tonight. And yeah, the one Netflix original series that we're going to talk about, yeah, this is probably something that I am absolutely in love with already, and can't wait for season 2. I'm sitting here with bated breath.
I agree with that 100%. For anybody that doesn't know, which you should by now know me, that I am an absolute fanatic about post-apocalyptic genre. I love the genre. I love zombies, and I don't care how saturated the market is or anything like that. I don't care. It's my favorite. So let me have that. Quick sidebar. Hi to everybody in the chat. We've already got our very loyal fan, Adrian.
Adrian!
What's up? So had to give a quick shout out to him, and to anybody else listening, thank you so much. I am all over the place. So back to what I was saying, Black Summer, and all that goodness, zombie goodness. So Black Summer is technically a spin-off from a love it or hate it show, Z Nation, which was on Sci-Fi. Now, to me, Z Nation, when it first came on, I was like, what is this? I don't know. I like my zombies scary. I don't like them funny. That's just my opinion again, because that show had a major cult following. I can even say it's got some good comedic elements into it, but when you have an entire show and there is not a single likable character, I'm just not gonna, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna be into it. I'm not gonna want to watch it. And that was the biggest issue I had with Z Nation, is that every single character on that show is absolutely just annoying or over the top. I would have to say, if there was somebody on Z Nation that I would pick, would be Doc, just because he's so damn funny, but the character as a whole still not likable. So when I heard about Black Summer, I was weary. I was like, man, this is going to be either super awesome or it's going to be a fucking shit show. So then it was like, oh no, this is going to be very serious. The only connection that is literally the title, Black Summer, because just a little background information in case you didn't know, Joe, or anybody listening, is that Black Summer is referenced a shit ton of times in Z Nation. So the period of Black Summer was supposedly the worst period of time in human history. So it was shortly about 4 or 5 weeks after the zombie apocalypse started happening. Society really hadn't fallen yet. But basically, this was the period of time where people started to starve to death, and really crazy people just started killing each other. And it was a very dark period of time in human history especially after society had collapsed and all, was the period of Black Summer. So that's where the title comes from. And now we have a very serious show, stark contrast to Z Nation. And I am a big fan of it. And as Joe already told you, he is a big fan of it as well. So if you haven't already watched it, the show came out April 12th on Netflix. And I have to say, things that I'll start off with a negative for once. Typically, I like to start off with the positive, but I don't really have a lot of negative things to say about this show, except for the fact it's too short. It was too short. I needed more of it. Like, come on. And this is not a spoiler because you could just go on Netflix and see the episode runtimes. How do you have a finale that's 20 minutes long? What the hell is that? That's what I want to know. How are you going to have this awesome show that is action-packed out the gate from the start, and then your finale, well, not only the finale is 20 minutes long, but the episodes get shorter and shorter as season one progresses. That made me very angry. That pissed me off. I wanted more of this show. I wanted longer episodes. You know what I mean? But I understand it was a pilot season, so hopefully we get more. Either maybe more episodes are ordered for season 2, or maybe just longer episodes in general. I don't know. Do you agree with that at all, Joe?
I totally agree with it. And one of the things that was an enamoring quality for me about it was, unlike The Walking Dead, they didn't dive into character history like, and just drag you through the mud and beat you to death with character history and make you sit through all this abstract shit that you have no clue. And then 20 episodes later, a light bulb has to go off and you have to remember all this stuff that happened. These guys made this so realistic that, I mean, you're just sitting talking about something and all of a sudden there's, a bombing raid out of nowhere. Just so realistic and so precise as far as the melodrama on how it would be and how it would really play out.
Oh, absolutely. I think the realest thing for me was the fact that not a single one of them could get a fucking headshot off.
Right.
And that to me,
we'll get to that.
Oh, that was amazing. I loved that.
There are a few spots that I absolutely want to cover on that were absolutely, in my opinion, were absolutely fucking brilliant. And I'll get to those. But I mean, as far as to address your question, as far as them being short, yeah, it absolutely left you wanting more. I mean, and you're fast forwarding that 12 seconds in between episodes because you're like, yeah, let's go. This is it, man. This is good shit. This is rolling. And, you got to tap that vein and get it in here because you need your fix now because this show is really enamoring and very, very likable right off the bat. The characters are just so believable. I mean, it is just so realistic and so cool to watch, from a standpoint that this is really happening, and you are hanging out with these people and watching them. If you go into it with that kind of context, you're going to put yourself right in there and feel, I mean, you can feel that this thing gives you a vibe that Walking Dead never could.
Oh, absolutely.
Walking Dead had its points. And Z Nation, you're a fan of Z Nation too. And
I wouldn't call myself a fan.
It's rocking it like Z Nation never could. They are absolutely on to something brilliant here.
What I would say, and you said like perfectly, it does something that The Walking Dead started to do and then they stopped doing. Yes. What I had, eating Easter dinner yesterday, my dad said, "Oh, what's Black Summer?" And I didn't want to give him too much, so all I said was, "It is The Walking Dead without all the unnecessary dialogue and fucking moral. Oh gosh, what do I do? Do I kill the bad guy? Oh, we gotta kill Negan, but we can't kill Negan because then that makes us Negan." Like, come on, Give me
Right.
a
No,
backstory.
it's giving you real time. Go
Yeah.
ahead, I'm
So
sorry.
no. So that's all I was gonna say. I literally told him, I was like, it's Walking Dead without all the unnecessary bullshit.
True.
It's not having to worry about chasing Carl every time he runs out of the house because he can't listen to his parents, or running around trying to find a lost little girl. No, the people in the show, they have two things. One, a woman needs to try to get to the stadium. Two, all the other people are trying to get to the stadium. So three, they all run and survive at the same time. So maybe three things. But there's like objectives. Get from point A to point B. Don't die while doing it. So yeah, and I think there was a couple little quirky things added in for like weirdness and story.
Yeah.
I don't feel that 5 weeks into the zombie apocalypse, people would be as crazy as some of the stuff they showed. But maybe perhaps the people that are already a little insane, you know, the zombie apocalypse opens the door for them to, you know, hey, I can be crazy anytime I want. I can kill who I want now. You know what I mean?
That's completely it. I totally agree.
Yeah. So the other thing that I really enjoyed was that you absolutely cannot get attached to anybody. You know, I'm not going to give away spoilers. I'm not going to name.
No, yeah.
You absolutely cannot be like, oh, this is my favorite, because you don't know when someone's going to die. You don't know how or when. Adrian is asking in the chat real quick, does he need to watch Z Nation before watching Black Summer? Absolutely not.
No.
The two shows. If you want to watch Z Nation, just Black Summer references, maybe look up a YouTube video that literally search Z Nation Black Summer references. That's really all you would need to do.
Right. No, Adrian, yeah, she's absolutely right. And you know what? I mean, the only reason I would watch Z Nation before would be to see the comparison that we're talking about and how far more farly advanced that Black Summer is compared to the two. I mean, you'll see. I mean, I saw it, Stevie, in a minute and a half. I mean, the contrast was just like ridiculous.
Yeah.
This thing comes out of the gate like, all right, The Walking Dead actually was slow to start, right? In the beginning, it was very slow, that first couple of scenes. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it starts to progress.
Oh, yeah, the first season was the best.
But it never, in that first episode, it never got the ramp up to the spot where you would think it should have, where this series is just like, it's punching the thing to death and passing it still. And it's just, it really is a thrill ride to watch the show. You're going to love it.
Absolutely. I would say, I mean, there's a little bit of corny dialogue.
Yeah.
I think that there are a couple tweaks that were made after the first couple of episodes that really, that's why it made me so angry that the episodes got shorter and shorter as season one progressed, because I was like, oh, okay, you found your stride now. You found your stride. You got rid of the couple of things that I had a problem with. And now your episodes are not long enough. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So that's my only real complaint, was just how short everything was. And there, you know, it's a little tropey. Like every show has its tropes. People don't know how to shut doors. People make stupid decisions. But that's going to be in any movie and any show, regardless of how good or bad it is. There's always going to be tropes, because it's 2019 and millions of movies and TV shows have existed before this one. So
you're not going to have horror if they don't walk into the attic. You know what I mean? If you don't go down to the basement with the lights out, how the hell are you going to get killed?
Exactly.
But there are a couple of twisted scenes that really stand out in my head. And I don't want to be blowing out anybody's, you know, viewing pleasure here, but I'm going to go ahead with this one because this is just too cool.
Oh, but don't, if it's a major story, I wouldn't spoil it for
you. All right. Yeah, you'll know what it is. It involves Lance with an axe.
Oh my God.
And it is just
so stupid.
That is just one of the most profound scenes in the whole thing. It's just like, yeah, holy shit, you can't believe it. It's just like, these twists and these turns, and I'm not going to give it away because you know what I'm talking about.
A coworker and I were talking about it the other day with Lance and the Axe, and we were laughing so hard because we were like, "How real is that, though?" Because any normal person, who's never swung an axe before, probably would do the same thing.
Don't. Yeah, that's it. Don't give any more away because I don't want. I really don't want to spoil it because I'm telling you, the surprises in this thing are so cool. One of my favorite characters I think is Sun. I think Sun is awesome. She's just the common sense of the world, is riding with this person. I'm not giving it away. I don't want to give it all out.
I would say I generally liked everyone. I really did. I actually found myself liking every single character, except for the couple of people in the diner, which I'm not going to spoil anything. But I will say I didn't like Rose until the very end. I think it was the second to last episode where you see that her and Spears, who is another one of my favorite characters, you see that they kind of have already, even in the short time that they've spent together, they've already connected on a deep level to where in the very beginning, one of them saves the other's life. And then at the very end, it happens again, but the tables are turned. And I really liked how they showcased that in such a small period of time, two people can bond like that, absolute strangers. And it really doesn't matter what you were before or what you did before. It's what you do now and how you are now.
Exactly.
And I really liked that. I liked how they showed on full display the bond that Spears and Rose had already made as survivors. And I liked that a lot.
Right. And the bond between Velez and
Sun. Oh, Sun. I absolutely.
No, I don't want to give too much away.
No. There's not a lot of emotion on the show. The characters don't scream and cry, and if someone dies, they don't spend a whole episode grieving because in a real life apocalyptic scenario, you don't have time for that shit. And I feel like the show really, really displays that, and it's great. So there's not a lot of time for emotion, but there's one episode, and it's not really a spoiler, but all it is a hug between two people.
Yeah.
And it was just so, that moment, that brief moment where you see the two people just hug, and then they continue. I was like, wow. I was like, just that little bit of emotion was just great, even in a 35-minute episode of TV. So I really have to say that Black Summer blew me away. I figured it would be good. I didn't think I would like it as much as I do. And I genuinely do adore the show. And I think if you haven't watched it yet, I got like a piece of hair tickling me here. Sorry. It like came up. I'm shedding. I'm like a husky over here shedding. No, I can't recommend it enough. I really do think that Black Summer is a great show. It's a great addition to the zombie genre. No matter how saturated you fucking think it is, I don't care. I love it. Bring on the zombies. I love them. I can't get enough. And
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. I was just recommending it.
I'm bubbling over. I got so much shit to say about this show. It's just unrealistic. And look, we can curse like that here because this is our show. And for all you people tuning in, I don't know if everybody that I hit up tonight is here or not. I don't know.
We've got a couple people in the chat. We've got Adrian, Bree is here, Smoke Rose is here.
Mickey finally found his way. Hello, Mickey. How are you? So I got a ton of stuff to say about the show, but I wanted to tell people that don't know about our show that if this is your first time viewing, this is absolutely 100% live. If you are watching this, then you are live and you are watching us as we are doing this. So welcome to everybody and anybody who's first timer here and better not be a last timer.
Yeah, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already.
All right, so we touched on something a while back, and it might have been somewhere around episode 12 about zombies. Fast, slow. right?
Fast, terrifying.
You know what? I am absolutely blown out of the water with the speed of the zombies in Black Summer. They are just ridiculously fierce.
Oh, and they're
And
relentless.
it is just a juggernaut. I mean, it's not like, Dawn of the Dead where you tap them on the face and they die. Or Walking Dead, they're taking out swarms, with 2 bullets and shit.
Yeah.
It's
No, these
that's not the case
zombies
here.
were very similar to the Dawn of the Dead remake zombies.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true, right? Not the original.
Or 28 days later, 28 weeks later, even those
28 weeks
technically
later.
weren't zombies, but they
the
were
speed, yeah.
infected. But yeah, they're relentless, they're fast, they're vicious. I think
They're
the
smart.
makeup, yes, and they're smart. The makeup department was great compared to Z Nation, because the zombies in Z Nation, obviously low budget, intentionally campy, which that's fine. Z Nation is very B movie vibe, C movie vibe, if you ask me. But like I said, not really a fan. I just watched it to kill time. It's background noise. But yeah, no, special effects and makeup did a fantastic job in Black Summer. So I got to applaud that department as well.
Absolutely. Carl Schaefer and John Hyams absolutely outdid themselves, I think, as editors or writers for this, and really just brought it home whole. I haven't seen anything like this that, really blew me away since probably Night of the Living Dead. Honestly, I mean, I think, all right, let's be straight out honest, right? How many zombie movies have there been since Night of the Living Dead? There's been thousands, right? Thousands.
Yeah, absolutely.
The strain is just ridiculous. How many of these types of movies have come out? Are they doing anything ridiculously new or different? A lot of these movies, no, it's all the same stuff. You got somebody dead trying to chase and kill or eat somebody alive, right?
Yeah,
that's the premise, right? So how much can you do with it? But these guys, I'm referring to Carl Schaefer and John Hyams, are both bringing this to a point that is so realistic and so just out of the box, because you're in something that is out of the box. You're not in real time anymore. And like you said, with Carl and his father, there's this whole vibe going on through the whole Walking Dead series, because Carl is the son, and he has to abide. All the bets are off, okay? There is nothing left in the world. People are getting eaten in front of you, okay?
Yeah. And that's the thing is with Walking Dead. Walking Dead eventually just became a character drama set in the apocalypse with zombies as background. A lot of people would complain. Often the complaints that I would hear when talking about Walking Dead is that there aren't enough zombies anymore. They're not threatening enough. And then especially when they did their time jump now, of course they're not going to be threatening enough, because now you're 10 years in and no one's afraid of the zombies anymore. And I think that's kind of maybe what I didn't like about Z Nation so much, was that Z Nation picks up 3 years, I believe, after the zombie apocalypse. And so everybody's already lost somebody. They kind of think it's a joke, know, it's not really, the zombies aren't scary anymore. It's more of, oh, we might have a cure. Let's get Murphy to California, over and over and over and over again. It's the same recycled fucking story every season. And then toward the end, they assassinate their characters that aren't even that likable. But the ones you kind of did like, now they've ruined them even more. So,
but this is realistic. I mean, there's an ebb and flow here that you'll pick up on when you start to watch this, and you'll understand what we're talking about here.
This is a zombie show.
Right. It's unpredictable. It really, it is, in the realest sense, what you would look at, in my eyes, in my opinion, if you were absolutely dropped into the apocalypse, and your that nightmare is now real, and they bring that. So I mean, the zombies in this are that scary to me. I mean, there's parts. I'm a grown man, and I'm on the edge of the couch, like, whoa, it's late. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm looking out my patio door and make sure there's nobody like walking around out there. It's a little freaky, a little scary. but they are very believable. The characters are more believable still. They don't beat you with these characters. What happened?
Speaking of characters, can we just talk for a moment about fucking Lance and how Lance has the worst luck? And
No,
Lance,
don't.
I'm just gonna say he's probably the stupidest out of all of them. I just really think Lance is so stupid. He is my least favorite character.
Yeah, you know what? Okay. We're gonna take. We're going there. We're already there. You know, you parked the car. We got a camp set up. So I'm jumping out.
All I said was Lance has bad luck. That's all I'm saying. He just has bad luck and he's stupid.
I don't understand how this guy survived. I really don't. It's like if you drop somebody into a human pinball machine and just watch him go off the bumpers relentlessly, you know, and survive and win, you know, and it's just like, what the fuck? And it's so realistic.
Yeah, and I think the only reason Lance has gotten as far as he has is because of other people around him.
Yeah.
Because if he was to stay on his own for too long, you know, I don't know. I guess they included a character like Lance because, I mean, let's say out of a group of 5 people, not everybody's going to be a shining, brilliant example of humanity. You're going to have a stupid fucking friend. I mean, we all have the dumb friend. You know what I mean? So you're going to have the dummy.
Right now, everybody's going, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, if you think you're the dumb friend, yes, you absolutely are the dumb friend.
If you're questioning whether or not you are the dumb friend right now, chances are, I'm going to leave it right there.
Look, I just got to say, everybody's got a Lance in their life.
All right, so for all our non-stupid friends and our not so bright friends.
I would just say, I hope I'm the son in the apocalypse.
I am the dumb. You know why I don't have any dumb friends? Because I'm the one I'm the dumb friend. Hey man, how you doing? Oh, look, a wall. You know, that's me. So I'm not going to go there, but I'm going to play along so I feel better about myself with you here and just say that, yeah, those dumb friends of ours, they're terrible, horrible.
Oh my God. I'm putting it in the chat so that it stays in text evidence that you heard it here first. Joe has proclaimed himself the dumb friend.
I hereby complain to myself. I hereby proclaim myself the dumb friend. See what I mean? I am that dumb friend, people. Oh, look, a squirrel. We haven't seen one in a while. No,
Let's just say I'm glad that you're up in New Jersey and I'm down here if the apocalypse happens later this evening.
All right, so for all of you that are just coming to the show for the first time, now you know the show is live, but you don't know this. This show is being video broadcast to you from New Jersey and Florida at the same time. My lovely co-host Stevie is in Florida, and I am here in wonderful New Jersey, basking on a beautiful, well, it's really gray as shit out there. I was going to say a beautiful.
Oh, not here. It's beautiful. It was like 75 all day. It was gorgeous.
It's not. This isn't fog. This is like probably like pollution, you know. But I'm not going to.
It's zombie fog and.
See? I gotta go.
there's a dead guy.
All right. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna talk for just one more minute about Jamie King's character.
Okay.
Right? She is the lead actress in this, pretty much, right? I would think. She
plays Rose.
Right. Rose's character. I don't want to give again. We really try on Horror Metal Cast not to give out so much information that you guys go up and go like, oh yeah.
Yeah, unless it's bad, and then I'll blatantly tell you.
Yeah. Oh, Joe said he was around the block. Right. Joe said he's gonna eat his face and like at 0.31 of the 7th minute, right? Because I'm not though, and I'm trying very hard not to do that because I want you guys to enjoy it the way we did. So, but Rose's character going forward is growing exponentially throughout the entire thing, and it's going to be pretty amazing to see what she comes back with now, because a hardened vet who has got what she was looking for right at the end, you know what I'm talking about,
or broken and hallucinating,
right? Now, right, and it just
Which
has
one is it?
a lot of possibilities. That was amazing too. The scenes when they got into the area where they had to get what Rose came for.
Yep. That's enough. Don't tell anymore.
It was just you guys, you're gonna love this movie a lot.
Yes,
okay?
you will.
Yeah.
I genuinely think if you like fast-paced horror, if you like zombies, if you like the apocalypse, or you're just looking for something good on Netflix that you could literally watch in 4 hours, Black Summer is the show for you.
Right.
This next topic, we're gonna move right along.
Okay.
I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it because the movie was so bad that I'd rather talk about other bad Netflix films. But what I'll say is I recently watched a movie called The Silence. And it popped up in my recommended based on, algorithms. And that's how Netflix, I guess, decides what trash they're gonna make next. So riding off the coattails of and I read this also on the internet that people believe that Netflix looks at what actors and actresses are in their own original content, and then they have these scripts that they buy from people, and then they're like, hey, do you want to be in this movie? Because right now your show is doing so well that we think that people will want to watch this movie just because you're in it.
Because what had happened was you're going to be great in this, so here's a script.
So I feel, and I use this example because very recently, the second season of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina came out, which I really like that show. I think it's super fun. So the main character, Sabrina, is played by Kiernan Shipka, and she is one of the main characters in this movie called The Silence, alongside Stanley Tucci and Miranda Otto, Miranda Otto is also in Sabrina.
LOTR, I love Miranda Otto. Sorry, I'm a big fan.
Not that she's not great, and not that the other actors and actresses aren't great.
I love Miranda Otto.
The movie, The Silence, is a gigantic ripoff of A Quiet Place. It is, I guess they were riding the coattails of Bird Box, and they thought, oh, well, we're going to have a hit on our hands with this one. No, it is so bad. It is so fucking bad. The CGI sucks. Everything sucks. So there's these monsters in this movie.
I wouldn't watch it. I didn't watch it.
Oh, it's such a piece of shit. Joe asked me, guys. He was like, "Oh, should I watch it?" I said, "Absolutely not. It is horrible." And it made me so mad.
You were emphatic. Do not watch this crap, shit, crud, junk ever, shit.
Yeah, that movie made me so angry. It really did. It made me so angry that I wasted my time on it. And I can't get that time back, guys. It just made me so sad. And so we're
going to elongate 3 episodes for you now because of that. I am going to go talk to Schaefer and Himes and tell them, you better give her back her time and make Black Summer longer, like 10 of them.
I wish they would. I wish they would. But so The Silence is about a deaf girl who doesn't act like a deaf girl and doesn't anything like a deaf person because the actress is not and clearly never studied deaf anything. Unlike A Quiet Place. Okay, so A Quiet Place, they actually were like, oh, when we're speaking sign language, we're going to put subtitles so that the audience knows what the fuck is going on. No. I actually had turned my closed captioning on. And then I had subtitles because I turned CC on. So without that, if you didn't have the forethought to say, the fuck is going on, and turn your CCs on, you wouldn't know. You would have no idea what the hell is going on half the movie. The monsters in this movie that get awakened in this cave and they come out, they've been there for years. They're prehistoric. They look like ghoulies. From the little guys coming out of the toilet in the movie Ghoulies. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So they look like ghoulies with wings and no eyes. They're supposed to be like scary tiny pterodactyls, and they're stupid looking as shit.
Wait a minute, wasn't there a movie a while back with Vin Diesel? Do you remember?
Pitch Black.
Yes, Pitch Black. Is that what because that's what they look like to me on the trailer. I'm like, that's got a Pitch Black thing going on
And
there.
I feel like it does steal a little bit from Bird Box, Pitch Black, and A Quiet Place. Evidently, this is based on a book that quote unquote came out before A Quiet Place, whatever. Who cares? Because it sucked. I don't know. Not saying that the book sucked. Please don't fucking hang me. But the movie is terrible. And I just feel like, how can Netflix have such great shows like Stranger Things and Black
Which
Summer?
I have not watched yet.
And so many other great shows. I mean, there's so many great Netflix original shows that I just can't even name them all. But there's so many bad movies. There's so many bad Netflix movies that I wonder, do they have, and it almost makes sense that this would be a real thing. Does Netflix have a random script generator? Or it just takes,
they push a button and then, oh look, it's
like
the
Mad
hand of God.
It's like Mad Libs. So back, I think it was Christmas time, either this past Christmas or the Christmas before, where somebody had an AI on a computer. They entered a bunch of random things and made a fucking Hallmark Christmas movie from this AI, because Hallmark Christmas movies are so generic and bland that they were like, oh, I bet you an AI on the computer could make a Hallmark Christmas movie. And it did. And I feel like that's what Netflix does. And I swear to God, that's what Netflix does with its original shows.
I love it.
Because
I love it. Oh my God.
I mean,
what's based around a toaster oven? You know what I mean?
I wrote down a couple of movies that really were just so bad. And I don't know if you've seen any of them. And a lot of them are based off of either comics or books or something. But Afterlife, Death Note, Tao, How It Ends, and The Open House. All came out in the last year and a half. And they were all equally disappointing. And great trailers with promising concepts, but the execution just isn't there. And I guess Netflix is just such a powerhouse that at this juncture they really just don't care if the movies are good or not. They're just churning and burning. They are just coming out with movies that lack any kind of quality, whether it be in the writing or the acting or the effects. And I guess that's what happens when you get to a point where you're so big that your original content really doesn't need to be that good anymore. I don't know. What is your opinion on that?
I barely watched any of the things that we were just talking about, but and I will not watch Dead Silence. I saw the trailer.
It's just Dead Silence. It's not even Dead Silence. That's
how much I'm paying. I'm sorry to anybody I'm offending in that thing, for lack of a better term. But I'm not. I mean, I saw the trailer, and the first thing I said is, somebody went into like a back studio somewhere and found all the props from Pitch Dark and like chucked it in there and. Let's give him a deaf dude, throw it in there. Oh, look at the spin on that. Ooh, word wizard. Wait, it's like, no.
I'm gonna interrupt 1 second, and I'm gonna say, for any first-time listeners or watchers, or even for our repeat friends,
run.
No, Joe will at least once a week mess up the title of a film.
Squatch. I gotta talk about Squatch, and
he'll mention The Conjuring. Or he'll talk about Sasquatch. So. Go ahead, Joe. It's Pitch Black, not Pitch Dark, but continue.
It should be Pitch Black because the screen should just be black because it's crap coming off when they put the color on it.
It is Pitch Black. Or it was. That was you know what? For its time in the early 2000s, Pitch Black was actually pretty fucking cool. That was a decent sci-fi horror flick.
I told you I was a dumb friend. I told you. See,
You
now
are-
you
you are
know.
a dumb friend. I adore you, but you are one of the dumb friends.
Yo, what's the name of that movie?
Conjuring, wasn't it The Conjuring? No, Joe, it's Annabelle. Yeah, but it's The Conjuring.
Don't blaspheme. That's bad. That's it. That's if you get to that, you're talking almost like about Squatch, which you sent me.
That was the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I like that. Don't, because now I'm gonna start quoting South Park. Don't. This is gonna spin off.
We can't spin off. We only have 20 minutes left, and we still have other topics to cover. So anyway, the moral of the story, friends and listeners and dear dumb friends, the moral of the story is Netflix's original content for the most part is fucking terrible unless it's a TV show, and I don't know why. Maybe because television series are more of an investment, so they actually want to have better quality. I really don't know. I don't work for Netflix, but if they'd like to hire me, hit me up. Just kidding. Anyway,
you know what, Stevie, your opinion is usually so spot on with things.
I guess I'm brutally honest. I don't know. Most people don't like.
You know, I mean, your approach to things is usually, like I said, I do value your opinion. I'm not just buttering you up to get more time on the show. Okay, I'm telling you because I believe. No, I really do. I have always believed what comes out of your mouth is gospel truth, and I look at it as such. Now, you didn't even you asked me in a text if I watched anything, and you just came dead silence, deaf silence, the silent shit, that crap movie. I mean, that one, yeah. You were just, you hammered nails into this thing in like 8 seconds.
Yeah, he told me, we were talking about it because I said, well, let's talk about bad Netflix movies on Monday. Yeah. And he was like, why? What did you watch that was bad? And I was like, don't.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it. I'll complain about it, and then you can be comedic relief.
It was awesome that you crushed this thing off that way, because I didn't waste, and it just confirmed what I had thought originally, and I'm good comic relief. Hey, right?
The Joker.
What I believe to be a shit show to begin with, and I saw it myself before I watched it, and I'm grateful that you told me about it, and I'm not going to watch it. Now, does anybody in the chat, are they saying anything about any of this? Are they?
No, I asked them. I said, what's everyone's least favorite Netflix original film, if any? And then they all ignored me. And I know they're still there because
you're cheating on me with the chat room.
The window open, and we have 6 live viewers, and none of them are talking to us. Boo.
You people in that chat room, you listen.
Oh, they're bad.
You better start answering. Did anybody ever win the contest? No, right?
No, nobody ever tweeted except for Bree, but Bree already owns most of the stuff that I've forgotten. So. Hi, Mickey. Mickey said, we are all still here. They're just not talking to us.
Right, we don't want to talk to you.
I don't know. Maybe some of them liked the silence and they're insulted. Let's hope not, because if you liked the silence, then I don't really want to talk to you anymore. But anyway, we're going to move on. Moral of the story is don't watch it. Spend your time on Black Summer. So we are going to move on into Joseph's area of expertise, which is no, absolutely not. Not today. Maybe next week. No, we're going to move on into the music portion of the show. Not that I don't have anything to say about music, because I do. I have tons to say. But Joe is our resident metal drummer, and therefore he is our resident expert. So Joe, I'm gonna let you go on. What do you want to talk about?
Oh my God, Adrian, hold on to your chair. This is gonna get sticky. And we've
already got people in the chat going metal.
All right, so my topic for this evening is going to be about The Conjuring, which is one of the best movies I've ever seen. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Well, Stevie's losing it. I don't know if you can see the little box. She's losing it.
Oh, I just can't with you.
I make you laugh, though. Every show I get you.
You do. It's
episode 4. I think we sat and we just laughed for like 20 minutes. We couldn't get it back. And it was
yeah.
All right. So anyway, all right. My topic tonight about music is something that I've personally been involved in, and I would like to know everybody else's thoughts on it. And for lack of a better term, and for what most are considering themselves to be, hired guns in semi-iconic or iconic bands that have been around for a long time, bringing hired guns in, not the original formula, not the original lineup, different guys. How do you view that? Is that a cover band to you? Is it so backwashed that it becomes redundant?
Well, I guess I'm going to jump right in, and because I do have something to say about this. It depends to me. So what's the situation? Because there's a couple of different situations in which you can have somebody replace either. Well, in my opinion, I feel like if you replace the front man,
Right.
it's a completely different band. But let's say somebody dies. Should that
Okay.
band just stop making music?
No.
You know what I mean?
No. Now, all right, if you go to mainstream stuff, you got Chester Bennington, right? And the gentleman that's taking over his spot. Listen, I'm not up on mainstream as far
Chester
as
Bennington.
huh? Yeah, him too. All those guys.
God, Joe.
Listen, you know what? I don't drink, but Easter's a hard holiday for
It's all
me.
good. I probably butchered the poor guy's name too. Rest in peace, pal.
I went into like food comas yesterday. Okay, it was ridiculous. I ate more ham than anyway. All right, so Chester Bennington, the replacement for him is supposed to be phenomenal, right? You got Alice in Chains. The replacement for him, for Lane Staley, was very comparable, right? Very comparable and very close to where he's at. Replacement, let's see who else. There's a couple more actually. Anyway,
Queen.
I was gonna reference Journey because
Journey, Queen.
they found that kid in Guam or Thailand or some,
very far away place. Wasn't it like in a singing competition? I feel like
this kid was just he sent them a video of himself singing.
Oh, that's awesome though.
He had locked himself away he virtually came from nothing. I mean, not to say that nothing is nothing.
Came out of nowhere. Absolutely.
They were he lived in a very poor area. They did not have a lot of money. And in order for him to get the stuff to do what he had to do, this kid was hustling, he really worked it. And he imbibed Steve Perry so much that he became Steve Perry. If you close your eyes and don't look at this kid, I grew up in an area where Journey was out there. They were, out there doing the thing. And man, I'm telling you, this dude has got it nailed. He is Stephen Perry. It is just, this is, and yeah, I did it again, probably. But he is amazing. Anyway, shifting back to metal. All right, these are the mainstream bands we're talking about, and now we're going to go into a metal thing. Sepultura did this with Max Green, and there was so much fucking debate about it. It was ridiculous, But that's just replacing one, facet of the band. Okay, the rest of the band kind of stayed in there for a while. When you have one member of a band left, and there's 4 new guys in there, I wonder what people really think as far as whether or not it would have been textured differently had the original members been there. I've always wondered that, if how people really feel about that. Did they think it would be better or worse with the original members, or would it be the same?
Okay. So yeah, let's we've got a couple things here in the chat, but let's pose that question to the chat. When it's more than just one member being replaced. So, because they're already talking. So Mickey just said that he's in the position right now where he does have to replace his front man, but the band is not changing at all. He also said the replacement for Warrant wasn't too bad. And then Adrian said John Bush replacing Belladonna in Anthrax was kind of weird. So
Adrian, right? Yeah.
there's a couple opinions from the chat right there.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, no, Adrian, I agree. Although in Armored Saint, I love John Bush. I absolutely adored him. Now, if John Bush stayed in Anthrax, I'll pose this to Adrian, who's an Africana guy. I mean, he knows, some of a lot of the older stuff like I do, and he's aware. So, Adrian, I'll pose this question to you. If John Bush decided that all the other members of Anthrax should go away and could somehow make that happen, and it was just John Bush in the band, would it be Anthrax? I mean, obviously, to me, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no right off the bat. And I have my reasons, and it's not really even a purist thing. The writing core. And I'll dump my answers out quickly. To me, it would be a writing thing. The writing would be so much different than it would have been with the original writers of the band. And that's the way I see it. I'm wondering, now Belladonna was the original singer from Anthrax. And this was the basis of my question. Let's say Joey Belladonna decided that Scotty should take a vacation to the Yucatan for the rest of his life, okay? And, Charlie Benante, get on a bus and go to Italy through the ocean in the bus. That's
Adrian did say that no, he doesn't think it would be the same.
Right. Okay, agreed. And the reason is the writing core would change. Now, I came from a place where I was with a band that was 4 different members and 1 original. Now, here's the kicker, and this was the beauty of this project that I was in. The writing core was the same pretty much as it was when the band was first out and became, noted and had notoriety in the metal community. So when the 4 of us went to make this record with the guy, the 5 of us, it wasn't just, us and him, it was us.
Mm-hmm.
In that instance, the band seemed to be exactly what it should have been and was written the way it probably would have been in my eyes. It was historically and grammatically correct in my eyes, okay? I see other projects doing it, coming out, and it just seems to me that they don't seem to find that mark. And I'm wondering if it's something that I'm noticing, just me, or is anybody else seeing this? And
no, Mickey actually just said if it's just 1 original member left, he feels that the band then at that point has a different feel and sound. Which that's leads me to ask a question to both Joe and you and anybody else in the chat that wants to pipe in and join the conversation. What are you guys' thoughts on bands that kind of break up? So let's say, and I have a particular band in mind, but I don't want to really call anybody out. But a member leaves or is kicked out, or there's just disagreements and blah, 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 right? And he's one of the founding members. So they go and they start their own band, right? Even though Band A is continuing on, they're being successful, they kept their same sound, even though there's a different vocalist, they still sound amazing and they still are true to their original sound and flavor. And now the person that left has started up a new band that is a fucking blatant ripoff copycat. What are your thoughts on that? Because that to me is hilarious and is very
that's
petty. It's petty.
It's absolutely happening now. Rat is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, it's happening now too. In a smaller circle, the bands or the guys are actually from up in your neck of the woods and where I used to live. But like I said, I'm not gonna put anybody on blast just because I think the guy's a joke. And he has a bad fucking addiction problem, and he needs to work through that. But I do think it is ridiculous for someone to leave a band and you're so petty that you can't get over it, so you just copy them.
I think I know what you're talking about. I actually think
What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's pettiness? Do you think it's a matter of that they just can't let go of that part of their life? Or are they really that, do they have these delusions of grandeur that they think this was my band and now I'm going to steal the sound?
Well, I think, Stevie, what happens in my eyes, and the best recollections that I have of being around instances like that, is that people in the music industry, like any other art form, are very expressive. And when you have two, for lack of a better term, superpowers in the band that are expressive that way and want to get it out there, it's almost a competition. And it always seems to be that one of those facets is going to get slighted, because one there's a winner and there's a loser, and I don't mean to put it in that context, but that's the best way I could describe it off the top of my head. All right, what happens is an animosity will build up eventually, depending on the people involved, but a lot of times it just becomes an animosity, a hidden spike behind, and a control thing happens, and when it finally does hit the wall and go through the fan, and it's apparent that it's not going to work, and you have a split camp, right? Both factions are now split. You have egocentric on one side, because this was my shit and I was right and I'm going forward with it. And you got, screw you, dude, I was right the whole time, powered by anger coming out of left field here. So, you got these things racing down the highway now together. And I see it in a few different projects. In my opinion, music should never be that. It shouldn't be obviously about ego. It should definitely not be about ego ever. It should be about heart and soul, and putting your stuff out there so people can enjoy it.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that 100%.
But I see it happening a lot. I see these splits, and I see these projects come up, and then I see a wash of people go through the doors, and it's just these guys. Like I got a couple announcements to make on my personal stuff down the road here, and I will. But I was personally in quite a few projects. As I guess I would have been a hired gun. To me, I never looked at it for me that way. I never thought that I was a hired gun. I was a team player. I believe that I'm in a project. I'm not in 10 projects. I'm in this project. And when I'm focused on this project, I am 100,000% part of that team and that writing core and that unit. And we are a band. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do when you're in a band. And I never viewed it any other way. For lack of a better term, hired gun would come in, although hired gun without pay. And I see that happening more rampantly. These internet things spring up, and these guys want people there, and they want to do all these things, and they just start picking off. And you know what? I mean, I love metal. I love music. I love people. I love playing. So I'm, hey, yeah, cool. Bring it, man. Let's work on it. We'll do the thing. And it's at that point, it's a labor of love, and it's out of your heart and soul that you want to do these things, especially to bring, things back that would be enamored, over the years as and touted as, iconic. And you want to see these things survive. You want to be a part
because they have a special place in people.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't want to see them fail. You want to see them work, but this is all done without a lot of creative input. This is done without a lot of say in what goes where and how it goes and what you're doing. You're dictated to a lot as to what to play and how to play it. And it's just like, to me, that's not the right idea or formula for a band, especially metal. I mean, metal is, kind of just a universal thing. Like, my guitar player and DJ will come in and he'll throw a riff down, and we'll just rock that shit, because it's aggressive and it's nasty and it's fun and it's, it's good. It's got meat. And it becomes a song. And that's it. There's no, there's none of this, all the formulated, 34 bars and then 2 bars and then I want 6 and then 2 and you missed 2.5 bars. And it's like, you know what? Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm the wrong guy for that because it's not realistic and it's contrived and it's going to become something that people are going to view as cookie cutter. It's just stamped in there to get something out to say, hey, here we are. Look, the project, one of the projects that I left am out of now that we both know. I was going around the world with those guys and I love them dearly. And you know what? I can absolutely and honestly say that that with the one member in that band, the writing, like I said before, never lost its stagger, never lost its step, and it stayed true to form. That's why they're doing what they're doing right now. That's why they're still able to be who they are and survive in the metal industry, because they are absolutely not stepping away or trying to rewrite history. They're doing what they do. They're being who they are, and they don't give a shit who likes it and who doesn't. This is what it is.
Yep, they're sticking to a formula that works for them.
Yes, exactly. And I think that is absolutely, in this day and age, is brilliant and such a simple plan without having a plan. It's not contrived. And when it's not contrived, people see that. When you got one member left in a band or even no members left, and they just, it's like buying the rights to something. It was like Blade 3, okay? I mean, you know what I mean? It was just like, what the fuck where are you going with this? It's ridiculous, right?
It's actually really
Wesley Snipes knock off in there, and the dude is just, I hit you, boom, out of left field. I got you, Stevie. Look at that. And it really, it gets like ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been blasting at everybody for the last 20 minutes, so it is now time for me to shut my mouth.
I was about to do my judge duty time.
Time. I'm watching. I'm a drummer. I do this thing with time.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right because we have plenty to talk about in episodes to come. So same place, same time next Monday, guys. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in, whether you listened to live or if you caught the broadcast afterward. We appreciate you so much. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe to our channel. Definitely subscribe. That way you don't miss shows. And then again, if I fuck up like I did earlier tonight and I just sit here staring at the screen for 10 seconds before I realize I'm live and I go, oh, wow. Yeah, that was my dumb friend. That was my dumb friend moment of the day. But anyway, I will I'll cut it short. Thank you again for tuning in. Make sure and subscribe. Check out Hard Metal Sounds. Check out us on Facebook and Twitter and all that good stuff. Yeah. I'm going to go rest my voice and take an allergy pill.
Yeah. I'm going to get like food and stuff, and I'm going to watch The Conjuring probably like 6 times. There, I said it again. I got you. Guys, watch The Conjuring. Eat your vegetables. Walk your homework. Have a great week. And we will see you back at episode 26. 26 and a quarter, right?
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Peace.
Peace.